Hey guys, what's up? It's Shla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Shla. And I don't really know how to feel about life. I think about the past too frequently. I always get caught up in thinking about other people who probably don't care about me or even think about me anymore, may hardly even remember me. It never seems like people do, which is a little bit strange. I don't know. Because you would think I would leave some kind of a lasting impression. You know, you would think that. But I guess that isn't the case. I'm not really sure why. I think a lot of it has to do with me just not being able to cater to people very well. You know, I don't have much of an interest in fooling around. And so I guess a lot of social experiences just aren't interesting to me. And I'm assuming that's why, because most people, in regards to social scenarios, I don't think they intrinsically limit intellectual conversations. I don't think they intrinsically limit arguments. But I think they don't come up. Or when people do debate, it's fairly casual and nobody's really good or bad at it. So it doesn't really cause any major disagreements or issues. And that's probably better for social relationships, as being correct or talking about tangible, important issues and topics are not really rewarded socially, because no humans are really that interested in those things. And I don't know how to help myself, really. I just think social connections without that are far too boring and shallow. And I don't understand why I'm able to see that, and I've never been able to find anybody who can match what I desire socially, which would be friends who are interested in learning and not focusing so much on the jokes, but I guess it's also just my style of humor is different than a lot of people. And so I don't really even want a mask, despite how much of a social need I have. It's kind of odd, you know, it's a very odd situation I find myself in. Because I don't even want to be popular. I don't want to have to act differently to get there, which I'm probably capable of figuring out the psychology behind it, but it's not what I want. And you wonder, like, is there a problem with what I want? Is it bad that I want people to care about the world around them, and that it upsets me that people don't? Is it wrong that... Because I don't try to hold people to a high standard. I'm just aware of things. I can't help it. And I just notice things, and then nobody notices anything that I notice, and then I'm noticing things are rude, and then it's things that other people have never even thought of before. And it's so much pressure all at once, I think people just can't. They have like no idea what I'm even talking about. But there's so much inefficiency and confusion in the world right now, and I still genuinely feel like I'm the only one. Isn't that weird? It's like I just don't meet other people who are as invested in trying to do the right thing. And I'm not perfect, but any of the people I see, they're not. And I don't know. I know the problem with this is that everybody is judged proportionately. So because I am who I am, it's actually a more difficult hand of cards to play. You know, like, I don't know if I really get extra credit for doing what I'm doing because I'm not ignorant to the things that I'm aware of. And so, yeah, I'm following through with them, but other people probably would too if they weren't ignorant to it. So I guess that's something I've been thinking about recently, is how God views that. Because I know that's kind of like if somebody doesn't know, how can they get in trouble? But I just don't know. I mean, there's so many fixable problems. There's so many fixable problems, and people just don't do them. Does that not... It just gnaws at me, man. And I wish I never even tried making friends, because it never ended up working out, and it has caused me a lot of trauma and pain. And all it would have taken is one person, for me to meet one person that was roughly similar to me, but it just never turned out that way. Not at all. I just never was able to find anybody who felt like I could connect with. And there's my insatiable social one. I mean, if I had somebody who really matched my energy, I'd probably talk to them all the time. And then people don't want to talk anymore. I just wonder why am I being given these thoughts, and how is it relevant? I haven't even been thinking about this show much. I know I already talked about it, but I just don't. And I don't know if that's a good thing. Because that is a very genuine and important thought, to try to use this show as a means for financial stability. And sorry, this guy just like honked at me, and I don't understand, because Annie flicked me off, but it was a younger driver, and I think he just didn't get what I was doing, but I was letting him go, and he just didn't go. And then he just honked at, like, I don't understand what that's about, and flicking me off when I was doing a nice thing. That's like the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I mean, I just don't get it, you know? But what else is new? Because I feel like if you're going to flick someone off, I mean, they would have had to have done something like rude, or like I was trying to be nice, as I always am. I always let people go, usually. I don't care about that kind of stuff. I don't know why. But yeah, there's a difference in attentiveness and consciousness. But the sadness that I have, I don't know how productive it is, but I guess it's very difficult to overcome. I guess I can't figure out how to get through it, because I don't know if I've explained this before, but it feels like there's such a debt where I've spent so much time being there for people and them just never reciprocating or even wanting it, I guess, or even appreciating it or me or the way I was. That for so long it really weighs on a person. There's a weight to it. And so it's kind of surprising that I'm even pushing as much as I did. Like I had mentioned, I believe the beginning of this was somewhat of a manic episode, and it has lasted quite long, and now it's no longer mania anymore, and the original reason is not, I just don't know. Like I don't feel like I won, by doing this show. It hasn't felt like that yet. Even though I guess it deserves credit, but has the show been good enough? But yeah, I mean, a part of it is I do need to get over myself. I mean, I don't know. That is how life is. Like, nothing's guaranteed and all that stuff, but I just don't think that's a good mindset to have, and it's really a shame that things have panned out the way they have. I don't know, but it's probably for a reason. I just want to be able to get through life without like a chronic stress. That's kind of a chronic stress and a chronic, because it's just always there. It seems like no matter what I've done recently, it's there, and I just had wished I had never talked to people, really. Like, that's really I think the root of the problem is just spending unhealthy amounts of time trying to socialize and failing, and doing things for other people when it was really special and meaningful to me, and I would vocalize that, and it would mean almost nothing to the other person, and even though I told them that, it still just ended up meaning almost nothing. And that's a problem too, is it's just, I feel like I just see so much value in things, and other people see such little value in things. And maybe that's, what's closer to the truth? I would want to assume that my view is actually more accurate, because there should be value in things. It's not like there shouldn't be. It's probably there, right? We don't live nihilistically, do we? But I don't think it's even material. But I do have materialistic tendencies, and I've explained, I think it comes from a place of appreciation and not greed. It comes from a place of refined taste that other people don't have, I don't think. But the show was originally a very exciting time, and I was trying to be hype, and those kind of episodes just seem few and far in between. And today was fine, but it's just the usual kind of stresses that, I don't know, I still feel like I'm not good enough to really punch past some people. And there's still an underlying fight that I feel like I need to fight, and maybe that's a good thing. But I just wish I could be calmer. But I can't, because I can't procrastinate a single thought. It's all at once, all the time. And it's very debilitating. I think that's the problem, is I just see too much and hear too much at all times. And to try to be at peace, which has been very difficult for me, given a lot of the stuff I've been put through. But I want to try to consider that, because there was a time in my life I did feel like I was able to figure out anger, and I really was pretty happy. And I always discounted that in retrospect. I always thought, oh, that was just a manic episode. That wasn't real. I eventually just returned to normalcy. But is that the case? Or was I actually able to hit a semi-enlightened state? And then did I just slip out of it, out of boredom or just falling asleep again? I wonder, and I haven't revisited that thought until right now, actually, because I always discounted it as a mania. It wasn't real. It was a few months where I genuinely think I barely felt any kind of negativity. But then again, I wasn't socializing. I had no friends. And that's kind of what I feel like I'm entering a very antisocial arc for myself, because like I said, I don't know if it's cut out for me. And when you've been burned, I think it's different, and I've talked about this before. I mean, some people get burned for being antisocial, but they didn't really try as hard as I've tried, or put themselves out there as much as I have. And I'm not really moping about it. I think there may just be such a bigger purpose for me that it's just not something as casual as a friend is maybe just not on my platter. I don't know at this point. But like I said, I mean, I've really been opening up to thinking in more of a willpower, like I have the power type of mindset, because I didn't really used to think that way. And it's a weakness. Whether it's true or not, it's a weakness. The thing is, though, I have fought, and I have fought through a lot of stuff. I've come a very long way to a point where I feel healthy now, and I've improved so many aspects of my life and optimized so many aspects of my life. It's just socially is still not there, and I don't know if it's going to be later in life or when it's going to be, but we'll have to see. I just don't know that everybody is cut out for it. But I wonder about a lot of things. And again, it's hard to put your finger on it. I mean, am I really upset? Am I not upset? Am I fine? I use this show as a way to channel it somewhere. I think it makes me feel better. I think it's better than wasting someone's time because I don't really know that it gets anywhere. I mean, these are just words and thoughts, and it's a waste of time. And I guess you have to think about what's going to get you places and what won't. And I guess it's just another one of those things where a lot of these thoughts and these hindsights, well, I guess some reflection is good, but I just think I get caught up in it. I get very, very caught up in it all. I don't know. It's hard for me to not think about the past as aware I am of its irrelevance. But you know what I was thinking today with how productive I have been able to be? It does get to a point where it's like, what's next? What else is there to do? And I know I'm not there yet, and there's always newer things and better things to learn. And well, no, I've always said that. But then I keep learning new things, so maybe that's not. But hypothetically, there would reach a point where, no, there actually probably wouldn't be. There's probably a lot of spiritual things that, I mean, could take more than a lifetime to figure out. So I don't know that there's ever a shortage of things to do. I don't really know where I was going with that, but that was something I always thought of, and there could be some level of truth to it, where it's like life in the experience of life, the sensations of life. What is the truth to it? What is it? And what is the right thing to do? And it's at a certain point, I just wonder, and you just want to listen to music, and you spend so much time learning and learning and learning. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think you know what I mean, but what is it? Is it actually flawed that I perceive things in the way I perceive them? Does it make sense for me to lighten up? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. Because part of the problem is I don't get enjoyment out of those things. I don't get enjoyment out of the things that other people get enjoyment out of, but I felt like my craft has not, like, I've felt like trapped, like I have nothing. And at least now with this show, I have something to show, but I still wonder if it's enough. I mean, is this really a talent? Or and like I said, I mean, it just has to be, I feel like it has to be bigger, it has to be better. That's just my genuine thoughts about it. I mean, I don't know if I'm blowing minds enough. I don't know if the best point. Now, I've already addressed this. I always do that to myself. I always get worried that I was better in the past, and I won't. Just such a crazy. Well, now I see that it's crazy because I'm easily at the best I've been in my life, but I mean, what does that even mean? Like, I don't know. Things matter, and of course it matters that I'm doing better now. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know. It just all is what it, like, it is what it is. That's just... And that's the thing is, like, I just don't know. I guess there's a lot of things that... Well, and I guess people are at peace with that. People are at peace with not knowing. And that's how they solve that problem. But I think being at peace with not knowing causes other issues. I mean, they say ignorance is bliss, but I don't think that's true. I just don't. I guess I just can't get to that point. I've actually attempted to intellectually induce it. I used to think that was one of my theories back when I was 17. Well, is being delusionally happy even delusional? Is that even a problem? And you can get into all kinds of, well, then you don't have drive. You know, if you're content, you're not hungry to do the right thing. But that was something I thought. Is it really delusional if it's delusion for a good thing? If it's leading you to good things, how is it? But it may not be rooted in reality. Somebody could be delusional, but that delusion, I'm assuming that happens with a lot of successful people. But like I said, I don't really see what skill I have other than talking, which is the only thing I've discovered as of this point in my life. It's the only thing I know. And it was only recent that I even have really gotten into this, obviously. So it remains to be seen what it really is, if it really is, all that good stuff. I don't even know. I wanted to think there was a magic to, and maybe there is when I'm in the zone, but it's difficult to figure things out. But I feel like I'm on a lone path. That's the thing though, like I said, I don't know that I want or need friends at this moment. I don't know that that's necessary for me right now, but it would make things better. It definitely would. So I think a lot of it's cope. But I don't think in the immediate it matters very much. But it may sooner or later, you know. I think that's kind of how I'm deducing that. But again, at least there's something. It's just, again, like, I guess I wonder if what I'm doing, is it poetic? Is it intelligent? Or is it just a waste of time? Like, is it what else could I be doing with this time? Doing the usual things, focusing on money, focusing on career better. There's a lot of things that may be more beneficial, so why am I drawn to these somber topics? There's just something there. There's something present in them. That I feel drawn to. And the lens is different now, because when I was a teenager, I was more depressed, I was more confused. At least now I feel like things are fine. So it's different. But it's a similar feeling, but I guess I'm trying to vocalize something that may be buried deeper inside myself. And this is just the outlet that it's coming out. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what I really want right now. There's kind of been a fog. There's been a haze. And I'm trying to work on myself and optimize everything I can, but there has to be a point. There has to be a point. And I'm still trying to find, and I mean, maybe I never will, but I do think the moral of the story, or the ending point of this episode, is I really do want to transmute a lot of my let down vibes that I've been let down. I need to figure out how to just let go. But I just remember before all these people, I was so much freer. There was such a comfort when I grew up. It was such a good time. It was such a free time, and I felt safe. There was nothing like this when I was a kid. And no, it wasn't because I was just a child. It was because I hadn't been through that. Well, actually, yeah, I mean, when I was a child, my care was lower. And it amped up a lot when I was 14. And really ever since then, it's been difficult not to care. But then I feel like it spiked again when I was around 17, and then I mean, I just feel like it keeps going up. And maturing helps, because when you're younger you don't care about as much, or you don't realize what matters or not. And so that affects things. Just because you don't know. This isn't even what I actually wanted to talk about. That's why I think it's strange. And I kind of hate how the episode turned out. But in a way, I'm kind of glad it got recorded, even though I don't even know what that really accomplished. But it came to me very naturally, and that's why I'm glad it just got recorded, because wasn't really putting much thought into what I was saying. The words were just happening. And to me, that's important, I guess. Like, I don't know. Even though I don't agree with what I don't know if I agree or not. I wish I didn't make this the episode. I was going to talk about something I was going to originally talk about this morning but never got a chance to, which is how working 2 jobs is unfair because you don't get credit for doing so. You don't get the overtime, whereas if you work at a company, not necessarily a company, but just one job, and you get the overtime, you get the time and a half, which I think should be awarded to people who work longer because they're contributing more to society. And so that's why I hope I can keep, because I just don't like how places are stingy and I can't just want to stay and do more work. Like, I just think that's not, it's not good. You know, it's really not good, because I think it's very important for people to have outlets available if they want. And nobody really wants to. Like, I don't know. I guess my brain just doesn't get that upset about work. And I know I luck out with that, but I just think it is true. I mean, even if I had a more difficult job, I still think I would kind of be pushing the hours and, I just think I would. Like, it's like weird. Just think that's how I am. And I was never like that. That's what's strange about it. But I hope I remember. I don't even know if I'm going to remember to keep talking about it tomorrow, because this episode got all messed up. But it's been schla, and now it's time to buy schla. So, see ya, schla.